Alright, y'all, so I have my ancho chilies. I have my guajillo chilies. I hope I'm saying that right. And I have my pasilla chilies. So what I'm making today is my vegetarian birria tacos. And what I'm doing is cutting the stem off the peppers, and then I'm going to just cut down the middle and de-seed each one of them. So I'm not going to make you sit through all of them, but I'm just going to do a couple so you can see how I actually take the seeds out. So I've actually never had these peppers before, so this should be very interesting. But I'm like, when I saw the recipe, I was like, where do I go to get these peppers? So there was they had this little supermarket close to my house. I happened to go up in there and boom, found them. All right, so I de-seeded my peppers, and what I'm gonna do is actually just go back through and make sure that I got all the seeds out. But my pan to the right, I have some extra virgin olive oil in there, and I was heating it up in preparation to saute my peppers. So I'm just gonna break them apart halfway down the middle, just so I can give them each opportunity to kind of saute. The recipe says that this actually, they burn quickly, so I wanted to kind of even it out by just tearing them in half. So 2 to 3 minutes, saute it on medium. And then I'll set those to the side. And then after that, I'm gonna boil them. So you can't see it, but to the, well, maybe you can. To the right, I have a pot that has water in it that's also starting to boil. So I'm just prepping my peppers. And you have to move them constantly around the pot, otherwise they will burn. I turned it up a little bit. All right, so here's my finished product, my sauteed peppers. All right, and then I have my meat alternative, which is my seitan. I think I'm saying that correctly, but this is the very first time that I've actually ever tried this. So I was originally looking for vegan chorizo, but since we've had this whole corona epidemic, I haven't been able to find a lot of the things that I usually get. So I put my peppers in the boiling water, and I'm going to season my seitan with the salt. I have some pepper, and then I'm going to add some cumin as well, just to give it some good flavor. And I'm going to toss that around. Now you can see over to the right my pan in the back. That's what I'm going to use to brown my meat alternative. So I have some extra virgin olive oil, and that was already heating up as well. So I think that this would actually be a good protein for my tacos. These chunky strips, and I've already tried the chicken, so that's why I didn't really want to do that this time. So just so I can try something new. Everything's looking good, y'all. It's coming together. Take a look. All right, and I have my peppers. And I have my chicken. I'm sorry, I said chicken. I have my seitan. I have my tomatoes and my diced onions. So that's 4 small tomatoes, and then that's 1 small onion that I put in. And I have my extra virgin olive oil there as well. So that pan was heating up. So I'm just gonna saute my vegetables and my seasonings in that pan. So I have all the aisles working out, except for that one in the corner on the right. Disregard that one, because I actually did forget to move that out of the way. So my apologies, people. I'm just gonna stir this up. I'm just gonna stir that up, and you can see my peppers are boiling really good right now. Got everything going. All right, so this is my squeezed garlic. I really like to use this. It's really convenient. And what the recipe calls for is 8 cloves of garlic. So I actually just eyeballed this really, put my drops into the pan. But I believe 1.5 teaspoons of garlic cloves is equal to 1 clove of garlic, if I'm not mistaken. But you might want to fact check that. All right, so the recipe calls for peppercorn, and I actually didn't have any, but I did just use regular pepper in there, and I bought that as well. It says 8 peppercorns. So, all right, now here is my bay leaf. So I'm gonna put 2 leaves in there. I love cooking with bay leaf. It has a good flavor. I also use that for when I make my my lentil soup or any soups that I have. Bay leaf gives it a good flavor. All right, so my thyme. All right, so I'm doing 1 teaspoon of dried thyme. So I'm gonna put that in there. And these, I love these little measuring utensils that I have, because I like to be able to follow the recipe to a T. You know, if I'm cooking on my own, I'll just eyeball it. But if I'm following someone else's recipe, I like to follow the recipe specifically. So I have 1 teaspoon of margarine. And just put that in. And then I'm looking for my oregano. All right, I found it, y'all. So it's 1 teaspoon of dried oregano that I put in there. And for all of your ingredients that you have on the list, you're gonna put everything in there now except for the ground cumin and the ginger. I added that actually after I made the sauce. So here's my cinnamon stick. Now, I've never used the cinnamon sticks either, but you know what? I am going to use them, probably boil it in my tea. I think that's gonna be a good idea for me to repurpose those cinnamon sticks. Well, not repurpose, but you know, to make sure I use them. All right, so my peppers are done. I'm taking those off the stove and I'm just setting them to the side so I can make sure I don't over boil them. But they've been boiling for about 10 minutes now. So I'm just gonna move my sauteed vegetables over to that aisle so you can get a better view. And I do apologize. One of these days, guys, I'm going to get better with my camera skills. And I'm gonna get some better equipment so that I can be able to show you guys a better view. But for right now, this is what I have. And just put a little bit of salt in there. I want to season it up just a little bit. And you know what? Today was such a relaxing day. I was just in a mind frame of, you know what? I'm around the house. I'm about to make this. So part of my robe, part of my hair wrap, you know, but it's all good. I'm just comfy in my kitchen. So now I'm about to do 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar in there. And I'm just gonna saute that up. It says 2 cups of water, but I didn't want to put that much water in there because it already has water there and also in my peppers. So I'm just gonna do about 1 cup of water. Each one of those is 1/2 cup. Okay, well maybe I did do, I don't know. Okay, it was 1 1/2. All right, so I browned my seitan and I sauteed my veggies. So what I'm gonna do now is drop them into my blender. Make sure I get it all in there good. Now all of this has been sanitized and everything, just so you know, since I'm recording over my sink. But just wanted to show you guys what the actual process is. It's a lot of steps. All right, so now I'm going to drop my peppers in there, but first I'm going to just pour some of the water out because I want to also include the water from my peppers just so I can get that flavor as well. So let me just drop it in there. I'm just going to drop it in there, y'all, and I'm going to make sure I get all my peppers in there so I can blend those up. Well, at this point, it's looking good. Looking good. All right, so what I did was I blended it on my diced or chopped setting, so I can make sure I chop those veggies up. And then I didn't actually blend up my cinnamon stick. I didn't know about how that was gonna work out. So what I did was I added about a teaspoon of cinnamon so I could still get that flavor. I don't know how that makes a difference. It probably does, just in regards to the depth of the flavor, but I wasn't too confident in my blender, to be honest. So what I'm showing is that I have a pot at the bottom of my sink that I'm going to be using to catch the juice from when I strain my sauce from the blender. So I'm just going to pour that in there. Look how good that look, y'all. Alright, so I'm just going to pour that in there, and I'm going to use my fork to push all of that juice down into that pot. That way I can catch everything that's left over from the vegetables, those onions, the skin from those tomatoes, those bay leaves, everything that's mixed in there. So I won't have all of that in my juice when I go to simmer it. And I just wanted to give you guys a better view, so I just lifted my strainer up a little bit just so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Alright, so here's what's left over, and that's my juice. I'm just sauteing that now, and I'm just gonna drop my seitan in there so I can try to soak up all that flavor. So I simmered this for about an hour or so, just so I can make sure that I tried to get that flavor in the meat. Look at that, y'all. It look good, don't it? I know. All right, now I cut up my toppings. I wanted to mix it up, so I have my lime, I have my scallions, I have my red onions, and my cilantro. So I'm just gonna be mixing it up as I eat. But I have my taco shell. Now I know we can use corn, but I'm a flour taco kind of girl. I like flour tacos, so we just gonna do it with the flour. So I'm gonna mix it in my sauce, and then I put it in my skillet with my extra virgin olive oil. Now I went to the grocery store. I had some more meat still in there. I went to the grocery store and found this quesadilla cheese, y'all. I was like, oh, yeah, that'll be fine. So I had to get that, and I never had it before. So picked that up. Yeah, maybe I have and just didn't know, but I've never bought it before. But yeah, so I'm gonna line my taco with a good amount of cheese. Y'all know I like cheese. Drop some of my meat in there, my meat alternative. So it's a lot of new things going on today. I never had the seitan, I never had the quesadilla cheese, and I never had birria tacos. New things, try new things. That's what we on today. Alright, so I think I might have turned my stove up a little bit just so I can get the crisp on my tacos. But as you can see, baby, this thing looking good. Look at that. So fine. Now, I didn't actually film me eating this, but you will love it. It's delicious. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you.